Dear job seeker, a happy new year to you. We are surely aware of one of your resolutions for the year. Oh yes, we do. And that's finding your next dream job. It's time to get ahead of the curve with Jobberman Ghana. Did you know that on average, 109 people get connected to their dream jobs every week on Jobberman? This could be you. Here's how to get ahead of the curve this year. 1. Sign up on Jobberman for free. 2. Create and complete your profile up to 100% to be noticed by top employers that hire with us. 3. Set up precise job alerts that match your exact job needs. Job function, preferred industry, location, and experience level. 4. Upload your CV and get a free CV review and affordable CV rewrite services that showcase your skill and experience better and stand out from the crowd of applicants. Your success story starts with a standout CV. Get ahead of the curve. Visit our website and get started today.
Hi there. Here's how to create a job alert on Jobberman. First, log into your Jobberman account. Click on My Job Alerts, then click on the Create Job Alert button. First, name your job alert. For example, Product Designer Job Alerts. Click on the drop-down for the job function and choose up to 3 job functions that interest you. Click on the drop-down for the industry and choose. Click on the drop-down for location and choose your desired job location. Click on the drop-down for work type and choose your desired one. Click on the drop-down for experience level and choose. You can select multiple options. Then click on if you want to receive these job alerts through email or your browser. If you choose the email option, you can receive this email hourly, daily or weekly. Then click on Save. Don't forget to allow browser notifications if you choose the browser option. That's it. You have now successfully created a job alert. You can click on Edit it to change some details. Or you can create a new alert by clicking on Create Job Alert and restarting this process.
Hello, good afternoon to you all. Welcome to our second webinar of the year. We are excited to have you all here today. It's always a pleasure to come here with exciting webinar series. And today we'll be having yet another insightful discussion. I'll be your moderator for today. My name is Adumako, HR Business Associate at Jobberman Ghana Limited. Our discussion for today will be focusing mainly on job seekers, and our conversation will be centered on how you can craft a distinctive identity through your CV. So we have something special for all job seekers today. So please ensure to share the link with an acquaintance or anyone who needs to hear this. You can also let us know where you're connecting from today in the comment section. Let's know your name and then where you are connecting with us from. Okay, so I'll read a few from the comment section. So we have James from Splinters. Hi, James. Thank you for tuning in. Okay, there's Daniel from Teshi. Hello, Daniel. Thank you for joining us. Keep your comments coming in. Let us know where you're connecting with us from. Okay, so we have Rita from East Legon. Hi, Rita. I'll take the last one. And we have Steven from Cape Coast. Hello, Steven. Thank you for joining us. Okay. All right. So thank you all for joining Jobberman Ghana today. We are streaming live on LinkedIn and YouTube. Share the link with your colleagues and friends. Let's get interactive as well. Leave your comments in the comment section or our WhatsApp channel for today. The number is 027 0999 101. I'll take the number again, 027 0999 101. Let's get interactive. Send your messages through our WhatsApp number today. Right. So this webinar is sponsored by Jobberman Ghana. Jobberman Ghana is a 360 recruitment agency that solves all your recruitment. Okay. So once again, you're welcome today. With me today, I'll be joined by two experts in our area of discussion. First of all, I'd like to introduce the very first guest. We have Mr. Emmanuel Wyomi. Emmanuel Wyomi is a career coach, trainer, and a certified human resource specialist. He has close to 2 decades of combined experience in diverse industries. Mr. Wyomi has consulted for organizations such as German Development Corporation, Webster University Ghana, Comfort Ghana, Nova Wellness Center, Department of Social Welfare, amongst others. Emmanuel also works with Lancaster University Ghana and Academic City University College as the Career Services Manager, where he prepares students and graduates for the changing world of work. He's also the author of 6 books, including the latest ChatGPT for HR. Hello, Mr. Wyomi. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. It's always a pleasure to
Thanks
have you.
for having me.
It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks for having me too. Sure.
Happy belated birthday as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hope you had a good one.
Yes, I did.
Okay, that's nice. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you too.
All right. So my second guest for today is Mrs. Anita Koto. Anita Koto is a customer experience professional with over 14 years of experience in the telecommunication and HR consulting industry. She holds a Master of Business Administration in Marketing from the University of Ghana and a Bachelor of Science in Minerals Engineering from the University of Mines and Technology. As a professional in her field, Anita has been interested in coaching and guiding individuals to reach higher heights in life. She has held several pivotal positions at esteemed organizations such as Metro Edge Technologies, Airtel Ghana Limited, and is currently the head of customer service and operations at Jobberman Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Mrs. Anita Koto. Hi, Anita. Hello. Anita, please, can you hear us?
Hi, Frank. Thank you.
Great.
Hi,
How's your day been so far? Hello, Anita.
Yeah, Frank. Please, can you hear me now?
I can. How has your day been so far?
Not bad. Great.
Great. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have two very important guests on our show today, on our webinar today, that will be helping us to discuss the topic we have for you today. So before we do that, let's take a word from our sponsor, and after the break, we'll get into it.
Dear job seeker, a happy new year to you. We are surely aware of one of your resolutions for the year. Oh yes, we do. And that's finding your next dream job. It's time to get ahead of the curve with Jobberman Ghana. Did you know that on average, 109 people get connected to their dream jobs every week on Jobberman? This could be you. Here's how to get ahead of the curve this year. 1. Sign up on Jobberman for free. 2. Create and complete your profile up to 100% to be noticed by top employers that hire with us. 3. Set up precise job alerts that match your exact job needs. Job function, preferred industry, location, and experience level. 4. Upload your CV and get a free CV review and affordable CV rewrite services that showcase your skill and experience better and stand out from the crowd of applicants. Your success story starts with a standout CV. Get ahead of the curve. Visit our website and get started today.
Welcome back. As I mentioned earlier, our conversation for today will be centered on how you can craft a distinctive identity through your CV as a job seeker to catch the attention of recruiters and employers. Now, in today's competitive job market, crafting a distinctive identity through your CV is very crucial. And throughout this webinar, we'll delve into strategies for building a strong personal brand on paper, focusing on how you can effectively communicate your unique value proposition to potential employers. We'll also discuss key principles, practical tips, and real-life examples to help you create a CV that stands out and leaves a lasting impression. My esteemed guest and I are ready and excited to explore this topic with you. So please ensure to grab a writing pad to make some notes from our discussion. You can also get interactive with us. Leave your comments in the comment section or via WhatsApp number for today, which is 027 0999101. Let's get interactive. Okay, so I'll be going to my guest for today. I'll start with Anita. Hi, Anita.
Hi.
Okay, so
Hi,
our
Frank.
jobs are ready for you. So the very first question is, what does it mean to have a distinctive identity on your CV, and why is it so important in today's job market?
Okay, I'll start by saying that having a distinctive identity on your CV means you are presenting yourself in a way that sets you apart from the rest of the candidates that may be applying for the same role that you are. And in this case, it involves you putting together your experiences, your quality, and then your achievements, combining them in such a way that will represent you as a person and then your brand. This helps sets you aside from the rest. So it leaves a memorable impression on the mind of the employer, which will make this employer pick you or shortlist you to interview in the first place. If your CV does not stand out, the employer will just look at it and then put it somewhere or may not even look at it. So you need to have certain things on the CV that will catch the employer's attention. That will make him even want to talk to you as a next step.
Okay, thank you very much, Anita. So the most important point here is that she shared that you have to make sure your CV sets you apart from the other candidates and also leaves a memorable impression on the employer. So that's the point Anita made. Okay, now Anita, back to you again. How can job seekers identify their unique strengths and experiences to showcase on their CV?
Okay, so as a job seeker or as an individual, you need to reflect on your experience, on what you have done so far, reflect on past experience, both professionally and personally, and then you shouldn't just look at it being just professional, because it could be that you've just finished school and you don't have enough professional experience. So look at, just reflect on yourself and look at what you have done, your experience, your qualities. Also do a self-assessment on yourself to see where where your strong points are. You can also ask for feedback from people on where your qualities and your strengths, and add that to it. You have to also review your past achievements. So here's the case where whilst you're working, you're supposed to be. Sometimes we have achieved a lot, but we don't put it on our CVs. So whilst you're working, you should note that your achievement. There are certain things that you do that are great achievement, because the achievements are what the employer will look out for and say they want to pick this person or not. And that also helps you stand out. You also have to look at, if at that point you're applying for a job, you have to look at the job requirements and tailor your CV to the job requirements so that they can catch the employer's attention to be able to get an interview.
Okay. Okay. So, Mr. William, would you want to come in, give us throw more light on this?
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much once again for having me. I want to do a brief overview so that our listeners can see the bigger picture. And I actually like how the topic was framed, personal branding. And then there's personal branding on paper, and then building a distinctive identity through your CV. In 2015, thereabouts, I published a book I titled Career Branding, The New Rule of Marketing Yourself for Business and Employment. And in that, I captured three major ways of building our identity. And so imprint is one, which we are referring to in CV. And we can also build through in person. So through personal selling, showing yourself in person, you also communicate in selling yourself. And then also online, how you can build your brand online. And we need all these dimensions of personal branding in order to attract opportunities, whether jobs, scholarships, or other opportunities. And so as we focus on CV as a tool, which is one of the tools for communicating your brand, it is important that we understand building a personal brand is not an event. It's a process. It's a lifelong process. So, for instance, if as a student in the university, you don't get involved in internships, you don't get involved in some work experience, you obviously will have nothing to write on your CV. And so before we even get to the point of writing the CV to sell ourselves, we might have already begun developing ourselves as a product. Because nobody buys anything for nothing. So employers, in this case, serving as buyers, trying to recruit, they are looking for a kind of product. They are looking for a quality of graduate. They are looking for a quality of candidate. And so if you don't develop yourself, you cannot write a better CV to sell a bad product. And so I understand our focus is on the writing aspect or developing the CV. But far before when we begin to develop the CV, we might have taking the process in developing ourselves, developing our skills, getting some work experience. And when we are ready to write the CV to communicate, we will have enough to do that. And I have met people who seek for my assistance to seek to find jobs, and you realize 4 years in the university they did no internship, and so the section of the CV where they need to write about their work experience, they actually have nothing to write about. And in that aspect, your national service may be your first form of work, but the more work experience you have, the more skills you have built, the better information you have to present on your CV. And so, in conclusion,
I think the point that Mr. Wyomi was trying to make. So the personal branding is not a one-time event. He said it's a lifelong process that you need to invest a lot in. So that was the major takeaway from Mr. Wyomi's point. Anita, I'd want to move back to you. Um, what role do keywords and then buzzwords play in making a CV stand out to employers, and then applicant tracking system?
Okay, thank you, Frank.
Yeah.
For in today's work environment, most employers are very busy and don't have a lot of time on their side. So when they get a particular CV, they scan through very quickly to see if this CV qualifies for what I'm looking for or not. So there are some keywords that we have in the job requirements that if the employer sees in your CV, then it means the employer will know that this person is qualified for what I'm looking for. So that's the main reason why you have to tailor your CV using the job requirements that have been given, so that the keywords in the job requirements will stand out in your CV. Then it helps the employer, it helps you to catch the eye of the employer as quickly as possible. Also, the applicant tracking system that most employers use, and us as Jobberman we also have, and some recruitment companies also use. The applicant tracking system also is looking for the keywords within the job requirements. And that is what the system is going to use to select the particular CVs that are going to be shortlisted for interviews. So you need to make sure that you have these keywords in your CV to be able to help you stand out to be shortlisted for the interview.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Wyomi, the question was, what role do keywords and then buzzwords play in making a CV stand out to employers and applicant tracking system? Would you want to share some light on it?
right. So I think as Yaira has rightly said, in every job description or whenever organizations advertise, they are particular with who they want. And so if a person's CV has some of the keywords found in the job advert or in the job description, it kind of shows sign of similarity. It kind of shows that you connect. So for instance, if the work and the job description requires that you'll be evaluating stuff, you'll be evaluating documents, you'll be analyzing stuff, and your cover letter or your CVs also have those keywords, it kind of have some alignment, there's some connection. So they kind of have the belief that your previous work experience has been involved or has been related to what you'll be doing if you are given the opportunity. And so it gives you opportunity to be considered, at least to be shortlisted, to go through the selection processes and possibly get a chance. So keywords are very important. And as she said, most technologies that are coming up these days for recruitment purposes, applicant tracking systems are built with these principles. They are built with these principles like trying to sieve a metallic object from the sun using a magnet. So the moment you present the magnet to the sun containing metallic items, they pick it up. And so if your keywords, your CV contains those keywords, the applicant tracking system, and even these days, more AI embedded, they are able to pick out, they are able to sense that this particular CV has much of the keywords found in the job description. It's just like for those who have had experience using Turnitin for plagiarism checking purposes. How are they able to identify that your paper or your article or your assignment contains 25% or 7% similarity? It is because the AI system is able to identify a number of keywords that are repeated in all various assignments. So the same principle in screening CVs. They are able to identify which CVs have a lot of keywords found within the job description. And so candidates or job seekers need to be aware of this and put that at the back of their mind whilst they craft their CVs. So if the job keywords has analysis, evaluation, developing those keywords within, you try as much as possible to also have that in your job search materials, particularly your CV and even sometimes in your cover letters. Yeah, so it's very important. Keywords are very important in the CV writing process. Thank you.
All right. So we have a question from someone, one of our listeners. Peter Tetebi is asking, please, are there any generic keywords that cut across all fields, or is it specific to the job applied for? Anyone can take it.
Great. Right. Yes. So definitely there can be a generic keyword for every industry. If you are in the IT field, you kind of have some specific ones, but some keywords are a bit general. I think like developing, evaluating may cut across, but there are some that are also industry specific. So for instance, if you are accounting or finance person, there are some keywords that are pertaining to the accounting and finance field. If you are a digital marketing person, there may be some keywords that are pertaining to the digital marketing field. If you are an HR, there are some keywords that pertains to, so it's the language for the field. So an HR who is reviewing your CV, when you use those key HR words or keywords in HR, will obviously understand that you are speaking their language. And so we may have some that are generic, applicable everywhere, but some are also industry specific. And in this world of technology, you can even use Google to search, or the convenient and the faster one, you can use AI tools like ChatGPT to give you a short list of keywords from even a particular job description. You can copy and paste a particular job advert or job description and prompt ChatGPT to give you a list of keywords from those from that particular job advert or job description, and you can incorporate those keywords in your CVs. Either you are writing it manually or using some enablement or otherwise. Yeah, so some keywords are generic and some keywords are industry specific. Thank you.
Seekers are taking note. I hope our job seekers are taking note, because this particular question, I think every recruiter would, any recruiter who has had an interaction with a job seeker would probably mention this to the job seeker, because in my interaction with most job seekers, it usually takes them about 30 seconds to make a decision on your CV. So incorporating these buzzwords and keywords in your CV will make it faster for them to shortlist you for any role. Right. So we'll take a few comments. We have some people joining us. We have Daniel from North Industrial Area. Hello, Daniel. We have Achu from Kandishi. Hi, Achu. We have someone joining all the way from Tamale, Dinah. Hello, Dinah. And there's Rufiat from Nigeria. Hi, Rufiat. Thank you all for joining today. Right. Okay. So, Mr. Wyomi, back to you. How can personal branding strategies be integrated into a CV to leave a lasting impression on potential employers?
Perfect. Good question. Good question. And as I said, writing a CV, at that point of writing a CV, you are just using the CV as a tool to now communicate your brand. So the question then is, over the period, what brand, what reputation have you been building? And one key section of the CV that kind of projects your personal brand, at least at a glance, is your professional statement, or what others may call your professional summary. You could even bring your personal elevator pitch or your elevator pitch, which obviously will incorporate your unique value proposition in that first paragraph under your contact information. Who are you? Or can you tell us who you are? And so that short paragraph describing who you are kind of introduces you. So even when they don't ask you that question at the interview session, that can you tell us who you are or who are you, your professional statement should be able to give in a glance or within a 1-minute presentation who you are. And who you are will not come to you at the very day of writing a CV if you have not been intentional in identifying who you are over the period and developing who you are, and now using the CV as a tool to communicate yourself. And so your vision, your mission, what you stand for. Because in this world, there are so many things we can do. And there are so many things or many professions we may consider. But for you, what do you stand for? So what is your profession? What do you aspire for? What is your vision? What are you seeking to do in the future? And so if you already have crafted your elevator pitch, you can put your elevator pitch at the section meant for your professional statement. And personally, I have different versions of my elevator pitch for different audience. If I meet job seekers and I want them to know me, to have a solution for them, I know how to introduce myself such that they may want to pick my contact, knowing they have some value or I have some value they may need. So if you are looking for or you are aspiring to have an HR job, so who are you as an HR? HR is broad. So are you a generalist or you are a specialist? What have you done over the period? So you tell a story introducing who you are, what you have done, what you are seeking to do, and that will obviously differentiate you from others. So if that statement of self-introduction called the elevator pitch is recited or is read on your CV, they will have an idea whether this is the person we are looking for or not. This is not the person we are looking for. And like I said, at the point of writing the CV, you just need to bring all this information about you onto the paper. In this case, you are using a print tool, a print material, or a CV in communicating your brand. If you were to communicate this brand of yourself online, you communicate, you use the same information. So when I stumble upon your LinkedIn page, your social media platform, I want to see your distinctive self online. which may be different from other person. If I meet you in person and you are introducing yourself, I want to hear who you are by how you introduce yourself to me with your elevator pitch. So we need to define who we are, what is our vision, what is our mission, what have we done over the past, and what are we intending to do into the future. So when we craft a sentence or a paragraph, an elevator pitch describing who we are, we can then convey that information onto our CV, which will reflect in our professional statement or our professional summary. And then the remaining section of the CVs will communicate further, will give the details of our elevator pitch. So you then move on to your work experience, your educational background, process. So building yourself is a part of the personal branding process. But at the point of writing your CV, you are at the point of communicating that brand to whoever wants to engage you. Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are applying for a job and you're not getting a response, please ensure to develop your elevator pitch. Okay. So I would like to take the WhatsApp number again. Our WhatsApp number is 027 0999 101. 027 0999 101. Let's get interactive on WhatsApp. You can send your questions via our WhatsApp channel today. Okay, so Anita, back to you. Are there any specific formatting or design tips you recommend for creating a visually appealing and memorable CV?
Okay, for starters, I would say that sometimes you open people's CVs and the words are all over the place. So you don't just open a word sheet and just start typing like a normal letter or anything. You have to make sure that you're using a particular format. There are lots of formats online, but make sure you're using one that is clean and has a consistent layout. You also have to make sure that your font sizes and then the font choice, they are the same. You don't use different fonts for one sentence and another font for a different sentence within the CV. Then you are supposed to try to use bullet points so that it makes it easier for whoever is reading your CV to be able to consume whatever you have in there. You have to make sure you have clear headings, and then also highlight important information that you have in there. So let's say you are putting together your CV, your role can be highlighted, then the rest of the responsibilities and your achievements can be bulleted. And then you make sure you highlight the role, and then the rest will not be highlighted. Also make sure you proofread it, because whilst you're writing, you may think you're writing something, but you may have made mistakes somewhere. After you proofread, you also make sure you give it to somebody who's around you, or somebody who's ahead of you. Let's say if you're in a company or anything, or if you have a big sister or anybody who's way ahead of you and has some form of experience, just somebody who will read through for you and see if what you've done is right or not.
Okay. All right, thank you. But Anita, what about those people who add images to their CV? Let's say in their hobbies, they say, "Oh, I like playing video games," and they put an image of a video console over there. "I like swimming," then they put an image of someone swimming over there. What does those things do to the CV?
Well, from my experience, I would not advise you do put the images in there. Make it as professional as possible, because if I'm an employer and I'm looking for somebody, I'm seriously pressed with time and I need to get the information I need to get from your CV as soon as possible to be able to shortlist you or not. Recently, I opened somebody's CV like that, and strangely enough, where her phone number is that I can call her for an interview, she has an image covering the phone number. So I can't even have access to the phone to say I'm calling her. So try to make it as clean as possible. I wouldn't advise you put those images or videos in there.
Okay.
Unless, of course, probably it's a graphic designer that you need to put some special things in there. I would not advise that you do that.
So, ladies and gentlemen, please ensure to keep your CV as professional as possible. Would want to go on a quick break for now, take some word from our sponsors, and then we'll be back again to continue the conversation.
Job hunting tip 101. So today on our job hunting tip, we're saying job hunting is work on its own. I hope you've heard that. Yes, searching for a job is likened to an entrepreneur who has ideas and looking for an investor to bring his ideas to reality. As a job seeker, see yourself as a business owner ready to sell your services. So the question now is, what is your value? Think about this. Dear job seeker, still wondering where to find your next opportunity and level up with Jobberman? Your next career step begins with us. Sign up today.
Picture this. You find the perfect job on Jobberman. You take a look at the requirements, experience level, education, and skills. You tick all the boxes, right? Easy peasy. You feel like a toddler who just got their favorite lollipop. You apply and wait for the employer to call you for an interview. But radio silence. There's no response. Why? You wonder. Because our system only ranks applicants who match the employer's job requirements and have complete and detailed information on their profiles. So, if you haven't updated your professional summary, work experience, experience level, and education, you won't be ranked. But if you do update your profile, the system will present you as part of the most relevant applicants to the employer or recruiter looking for people like you. This means employers can also invite you to apply for jobs as soon as they go live, when the system recommends you based on your complete profile. Remember, all these features are not privileges reserved just for a few. This is an opportunity for all job seekers, including you, to increase your chance of finding that dream job that suits you best. Don't miss out on your dream job. Make sure your profile is complete and updated today.
Okay, welcome back from the break. This webinar is sponsored by Jobberman Ghana Limited. Today we are having a discussion on how you can build a distinctive identity through your CV. And with me today, I have Mr. Emmanuel Wyomi and then Mrs. Anita Yairakuto. So we have some questions in the comment section. So Zet Mohammed is asking, what's the difference between professional summary and career objective? Hello, Anita. Take this question. Hello, Anita. I think she's on mute. Anita, can you hear me?
Hi there. Here's how to create a job alert on Jobberman. First, log into your Jobberman account. Click on My Job Alerts, then click on the Create Job Alert button. First, name your job alert. For example, Product Designer Job Alerts. Click on the drop-down for the job function and choose up to 3 job functions that interest you. Click on the drop-down for the industry and choose. Click on the drop-down for location and choose your desired job location. Click on the drop-down for work type and choose your desired one. Click on the drop-down for experience level and choose. You can select multiple options. Then click on if you want to receive these job alerts through email or your browser. If you choose the email option, you can receive this email hourly, daily or weekly. Then click on Save. Don't forget to allow browser notifications if you choose the browser option. That's it. You have now successfully created a job alert. You can click on Edit it to change some details. Or you can create a new alert by clicking on Create Job Alert and restarting this process.
Right. Apologies for the little technical break. We are back. Before the little issue we had, there was a question from Zet Mohammed in the comment section. Zet Mohammed was asking, what's the difference between professional summary and career objective? He also made a follow-up question. Is it necessary to list all your educational background in your CV, or only the highest is enough? Mr. Wayne, would you like to take that question?
Okay. Yeah, so whether there's a difference between professional summary and career objective. I think in recent times, you hardly see career objective as a distinctive session, as a separate session. You can incorporate that into your professional summary, usually at the concluding part, so it kind of points to what you are seeking for. I read people saying they are looking forward to a growth-oriented environment where they can contribute their expertise as part of a team in achieving organizational objectives. So you still can have it, but you don't need to have a separate session for it if you are having your professional summary, or others call it professional statement. You can incorporate the objectives within that. And so you don't need to create a separate session for it. The other question is, just escaped me a bit. He asked a follow-up question.
Yes. Zet was asking, do we have to list all our educational background in our CV, or just the highest one here?
Okay. The more you climb higher, the more certain educational backgrounds become irrelevant. For instance, I don't expect you to add your JHS when you are an SHS graduate. You don't have a tertiary background, but you are equally supposed to write a CV. So you may need your JHS and your SHS on your CV. But if you have a first degree, you can ignore your JHS and probably have the first degree in addition to your secondary. If you have master's degree, PhD, you may not even want to include anything about your secondary at all. Sometimes you maybe need to create session for some CPDs, some continuous professional development courses you've taken. You may want to have a separate session for them, so that the core educational background, such as your master's, your bachelor's, can stand independently, especially when they were stressed on as a key specification in the job advertisement. You wouldn't want to add other short courses you've done to blind whoever is reviewing it. But if you have a session separately for trainees and CPDs, you can have them at that session, which also communicates the fact that you are a lifelong learner. You are a lifelong learner. For some people, several years ago, they had a degree. Since then, they have not had further education, they have never taken any short courses, and it also gives you a perception that probably you don't like learning. And if the organization really cares about people who love to learn, they will prefer to choose somebody who has some CPDs to support that as well. So depending on your level, certain educational experiences can be taken off to really highlight the key ones in that order as I've explained. If you have a master's degree, you can have your master's and your bachelor's, and you can forget about your secondary education. If you have only a bachelor's, you may have your bachelor's and your secondary education. If you are a secondary school leaver, either technical, secondary, and you are also to send a CV, you may include your JHS and your SHS education as well. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Wyomi. We still have some questions in the comment section, but we'll get back to them very soon. Now, Anita, what are some of the common mistakes that job seekers make on their CVs that detract them from their distinctive identity?
Okay, so the first thing will be not tailoring the CV to suit the job description that you see or the job responsibilities that have been advertised. Like we said earlier, please can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Anita.
Okay, so like we said earlier when we were talking about tailoring your CV, you're supposed to look at the job requirements that have been given, and then you look for the unique words to be able to tailor your CV to the job you're applying for. You also you don't have to focus too much on the responsibilities. You have to look more putting into your CV your achievements, and then how unique your contributions have been towards the company that you were working for or towards whatever group you were working with. You have to also look at not overloading the CV with information, because if your CV is too much, you have too much information in there. You may have like a whole booklet as your CV, and no employer will have the time to be reading 5 or 6 pages of a CV. So you make sure you simplify it as much as possible and put more emphasis on your achievements, your skills, and then your unique contributions towards whatever organization you were working with or whatever group you were working with. You have to also make sure you proofread it, and then also make sure you are updating your CV regularly, because if I'm sitting here now and then a job comes and I have to apply, and probably I didn't see early and the deadline is today and I have not updated already, it means I'll have no option but to go and take whatever CV I have there and send. But if it I may have not updated it, and so it will not be a complete reflection of what I want the employer to see or have about me. So make sure you update it regularly with when your role is changing or when you're achieving certain things. Make sure you are updating your CV with it, so that anytime you need to send it out or you need to use it, it's almost ready for you to send out. You don't also have to look at the formatting. Make sure the formatting is done well, so that you have your CV is not all over the place. Sometimes you open somebody's CV and the first page is blank. You go to the next page before you see some content. If the employer doesn't have that time, the employer may not even move to the next page. After I see a blank page with your name and then your details, it's like, no, this CV is not right for me. I'll just put it aside and move to the next one.
It's always. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, thank you very much, Anita. Your point has been noted. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's always important to tailor your CV and update your CV from time to time. Thank you very much, Anita. Okay, So, Mr. Wyomi, what role do achievements and quantifiable results play in building a distinctive identity on your CV? And how can they be effectively highlighted?
Great, good question. There is a principle in hiring or in recruitment that states that your past performance or your past achievements are the direct indication that you can perform such functions in future. And it is for that reason they want to see what have you done, what have you achieved before. And this principle is not a modern day stuff. If you refer to some biblical stories, and I usually prefer to use the story of David. When David was, in quote, applying to join the Israelites in the fight against Goliath, he realized the stakeholders then didn't believe that he could do the assignment. So they doubt his ability, but he was able to reference his, what I usually call his internship. he was able to refer to things he has done before. And he told them that he has been a shepherd boy. He has been involved in saving his sheep from predators. He was able to kill or fight and kill a lion. And with that experience, with that past experience, he can do same in the current assignment. And so at the back of every employer, they want to find out, what have you done before? Which will give me some assurance that you can do same in my organization. And that is why, as Anita has said, referencing what you have done instead of just your job responsibilities is very key. And it's more touching when you have some figures to prove or you have some percentage of performance. Maybe you took a company from bankruptcy and you were able to turn the company around within a year or two and achieve a certain revenue. You can reference that. And so telling such stories kind of really connect to whoever is listening. There's a principle I want to explain, which actually happens during the interview. You know, when you are writing your performance, it's just like also responding to a question during the interview, that what have you achieved before? So instead of waiting to respond to some of those questions during the interview, you can phrase some of your work achievement in that format to really capture the attention of whoever is reading it, where you use what we call the star concept of interviewing, where you use the same star concept in writing the achievement in your CV. So the STAR concept is an acronym where the S represents situation. So there was a particular situation and a task was to be performed. You took a particular action and the results that happened. And so I've even seen a particular job opening recently from a particular embassy or high commission here in Accra. And they even stated that you should use the STAR concept or the STAR model to write your cover letter. So don't just write your cover letter, but in writing a cover letter to respond to their job opening, make sure you cite situations that you encountered, the tasks at hand to be performed, the actions you took, and the results thereafter. And so you can reference some of the results you have achieved in your previous performances, and even referencing the situation that came about, the task that was at hand to be performed, the action you took, and the results thereafter. If you're able to coin statements of this nature, they speak into the heart and the minds of whoever is reading or listening, and it makes you different from the majority who might just write their job description, or some will even just copy and paste the job descriptions in their previous roles on their CVs, but that doesn't speak much of you. So making reference to past achievement in a quantifiable format is more appealing and attractive in the ears and the minds of whoever might be reading or listening to you.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Wyomi. So, ladies and gentlemen, basically, Mr. Wyomi is saying that it's okay to blow your own trumpet on your CV. So please, from time to time, once you achieve anything, you just update it on your CV, and it's fine. So far as you can explain to it or you can talk about it. Please ensure to update your CV with your recent achievements. Okay. Now, Anita, are there any specific tips for recent graduates or individuals with limited work experience on how to build a distinctive CV? I think we have a similar question in the comment section.
Okay, so from my end, most fresh graduates have their CVs, but refuse to add their internships, the groups that they were on campus, what you did with the group, because at that point you may not have any experience in the professional world, but whatever you did in school is transferable to what you can do when you go to the office. So if you were president of a particular group, the things you did there should be stated in the CV. The employer will see that and know that from what you're saying here means you did this in school and you'll be able to do that in my office when you come there. And as Mr. William was saying earlier, whilst you're in school, you make sure you go for internships. The internships are also experience that you have gathered. If there's any volunteering that you need to do, you have the opportunity to volunteer for anything, you volunteer for it. And all those things have to be on your CV because at that point, you don't have much experience. So that is what's going to speak to you. You have to also make sure that you have a strong professional statement about you and make sure you have your school details there. At that point, you may have just finished with your, let's say, degree. So you can add your SHS in there and then put in things that you have done even in school. That will showcase your qualities and then your achievements. Every employer seeing that will know that these are things that you have done. And so when you come into the organization, you will be able to do same. So try as much as possible to put that in there and make sure your CV is clean and you have a good format. The font and everything is right. And then have somebody read through it for you. And I think you should be fine.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Anita. Mr. Wyomi, can I come back to you?
Yes. So
Okay.
you see, a lot of people, I don't know if I'm taking it from where Anita has left us in the limited experience.
Yes, you can.
Yes. So sometimes people kind of use, if they play some leadership role, like you were SRC president, sometimes people also use that information for their CVs in place of work experience. The fortunate thing for many Ghanaians is the opportunity to do compulsory national service. So even if from level 100 to 400, you could not do any internship nor any part-time work or any volunteer work, you at least will do national service. So at least you have national service work experience. If you have that and still struggling to complete a one-page CV, some people borrowed their experience from some leadership, either some leadership role in their church, some volunteer work and all that. And that's why I stress on the fact that writing a CV or self-development precedes writing a CV. So you need to understand where you are going, what kind of job you are dreaming about, identify the skills, the experiences that are required. And so if whilst you are in the university or whilst you are in school, you begin to make time and develop those complementary skills. For instance, you might be studying maybe marketing, and you have identified that the demand for digital marketers is on the increase. So your university course might not give you some technical skills in digital marketing, but you can build that skills by on site by yourself. And so by the time you graduate, you have some skills in those areas to even reference on your CV. I've shown interest in people who have certain skills, not because of their degree. Their degree background had even nothing to do with a particular skills I saw on their CV, but I was interested in them because of a particular skills. Maybe it could be graphic design, video editing, digital marketing. And so when we develop those skills, we are able to include that on our CVs as well, and that can make a difference in our recruitment and selection process. A typical example, I met a young man in the Brahavo region. I don't know where he belonged after the demarcation, but 2022 thereabout, I was doing some consulting work for the GIZ. And as part of the session, I was leading an employability skills training in the university in the BA. So this gentleman came who was taking videos, photos for the event. And he told me that he graduated from that particular university. He did a course in environmental science. But the university has engaged him now as, I think, information officer. And his core responsibility is to manage their digital space, take videos and edit, take pictures and edit and post, managing their social media platform. And as you could see, environmental science, there was nothing like digital communication, photography, or video editing. But he was engaged because of the skills in video editing, photography, and those digital skills. And so if your degree has no prospect in a particular area, but you want to switch, then you should identify the core technical skills and then complementary soft skills you need in those areas. And then you can do that. And I've found a lot of people who are now in careers that is not directly making use of their technical skills from their degree backgrounds, but the skills they develop by their own schedule alongside their degrees is what is now fetching them some livelihood and some form of job opportunities. So self-development is key. No matter how good you are at writing a CV, you can never write a CV to sell a bad product, to sell a candidate who has not developed himself or who has not developed herself. So self-development precedes writing a CV to sell yourself. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Wyomi. So, ladies and gentlemen, just as we are building our identity on paper, we have to also develop ourselves. Thank you so much, Mr. Wyomi. Okay, so back to you, Mr. Wyomi. How can job seekers leverage social media and professional networking platforms to reinforce their distinctive identity as reflected in their CV? Hello, Mr. Wyomi.
Yes. Okay. You want me to take this one?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So very important. Very, very important. I tell people that your CVs, unless you are asked to submit, is hidden somewhere, either on your laptop, in your email, or stored on some cloud system somewhere. But a social media platform open to the world 24 or 7 hours a day, 24 hours a day, 7 days in a week, almost every time. And therefore, it is important to not leave our online presence open or unpolished whilst we have a polished CV hidden on our laptops. Especially when you are done having your CV crafted or developed. You need to now, if you do not currently have an account on LinkedIn, you need to then go and create.
Okay, I think we lost Mr. Wyomi there. I'd like to read some questions in the comment section. Okay, so we have some people joining in. I think there's a question here from, okay, Mr. Wyomi is back. Hello, Mr. Wyomi.
Yeah, sorry, I went off a bit.
That's fine.
Yeah,
That's
so
fine.
yeah, it is important. For me, I even value online presence personally, as in for my own career preparation and career development. I value what is about me online than what is about me on my CV. But until somebody asks me to send my CV for a particular job opening, my social media presence is open to the world. So if I don't clean there, if I don't take care of that place, push content that is true about me, publish my elevator speech, or describe who I am to the world online, which is open to everybody, then I'm doing a disservice to myself. And so when you are done writing your CV, and sometimes I do that for individuals or for clients, where I work on their CVs and then use their CVs to optimize their LinkedIn platform, and then ask them to be constantly posting. Because it is one thing being online, and it is also one thing being visible. So the essence of being online is to enhance your visibility, because sometimes you may have ability, you may have competencies, you may have ability for your work, but if you do not have visibility for you to be known and seen for your work, you may die in obscurity. So I see a lot of professionals, they are just comfortable with their current job, waiting for the next opportunity to come for them to send their CVs. That is the 20th century way of career advancement. Whilst you are in your well-paid job, you don't relax. You enhance your visibility whilst you are equally increasing your abilities through CPD programs. You are taking new courses, you are learning new skills, but also ensure your visibility. Post regularly on social media platforms, share your thoughts, share your journeys, share your experiences, and it enhances your following, it exposes you to opportunities. And time may not be on my side to share personal experiences, but I can say that being online has given me a lot of consulting opportunities than even an individual will walk up to me or me bidding for an opportunity. And so depending on your brand, depending on what you seek to do, leverage your online presence. So in summary, when you are done writing your CV, also work on your social media platforms, both whether on Facebook, anywhere you are. The secret is that you may not be active on all platforms, but when you have account on as many platforms, it enhances your search engine optimization. It enhances your search result whenever your name is typed in somewhere. So I have an account on some platform that I don't even visit. Once a while, I may visit there to update my picture or my profile picture and my elevator pitch. But then those that I'm very regular on, such as Facebook and LinkedIn, I make sure I post content to my audience, which kind of add some values to their lives. And when that happens, they keep me at the back of their mind. So whenever some opportunity comes up and they know I may be able to do it, they alert me. So they end up bringing consulting gigs, training gigs, and all that. It is because I am visible. Unfortunately, a lot of professionals, experts, good guys, they are good at their work, but they are not visible. They are not doing anything to enhance their visibility, which can affect their opportunities. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so viewers, when you are done crafting your very nice CV, make sure you put yourself out there for a buyer to notice you. Thank you so much, Mr. Wyomi. Now, we have a lot of questions in the comment section. We'll try and take as many of them as we can. Um, so one person is asking, how many pages should a professional CV be? Anita, would you like to take that?
I'd say a maximum of 2 pages.
Okay. 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 So this question was asked by Z again. So Z, you have your answer from an expert, maximum of 2 pages. That's how many pages your CV should be. Now, the next question. I've been tailoring my CV and cover letter to the job advertisement, but I don't get feedback. What would the problem be, or what can be done? Can anyone take this question? So the UI is asking, I've been tailoring my CV and cover letter to the job advertisement, but I don't get feedback. What could the problem be?
I think this one, Anita will take it, right?
Okay, so I would say you may do all that, but your achievements that you have in there, are they strong enough? It's possible that there are other candidates who also applied who did the same thing that you have done, but they have stronger achievements that you have. So if the employer, like we are saying now, everybody who's listening to us will also tailor their CVs to the job requirements. So if everybody does the same thing, what makes you stand out? Your achievements. If your achievements do not supersede what others are doing. Let's say somebody's achievement is that probably I achieved when I moved a particular retail shop. I moved in there and I increased their revenue by 50% more or 60% more. And your achievement doesn't look like that to the employer. The employer would want to go for that person over you. So you would have to also look at the achievement as well. The fact that you've tailored your CV towards what the employer is looking for doesn't mean that they'll pick you because you have competitors. So you have to. That's why Mr. Wyomi also said that you have to be improving yourself. There are some other extra skills in there that maybe that person has. Maybe that person has gone for some digital marketing training, which the employer feels that's going to help with the role, or it's an added advantage that that person has that you don't have. They will definitely pick that person over you. So try to always improve yourself and think through, make sure you have. I'm not saying go and um fake your achievements. As your achievements should be real because you should be able to answer to it when you go for your interviews and they're asking you. But you also have to make sure your achievements are in there. Sometimes we've achieved certain things that we may not even know that we achieved. So you need to think through and get all your achievements in there and try to improve yourselves daily, like Mr. Wyomi advised, so that it will make your CV or make you stand out from the others.
Okay. Thank you very much, Anita. We'll
Thank
take
you.
our last question due to time. So our viewer is asking, please, with regards to simplicity, you mentioned, assuming I've worked with 4 different organizations and the duties vary, how do I go about that? So the question is, with regards to, we spoke about simplicity, and then the viewer is asking, assuming he or she has worked with 4 organizations, and then she was performing different duties over there. How should she go about, crafting her CV? Mr. William, do you want to try that?
Okay, so it may even go beyond that to have a lot of experience. But as we have all been saying, that you need to customize each CV you are applying with to align with the job opening. So some of those 4 experiences in her context might not be jobs related to the job opening. However, if you still want to maintain all, and you still want to strive not to go beyond 2 pages, then you may want to reduce the number of job achievement or statement under each work experience. So if you want to have just 5 each for each of those 4 working experience, it will help you to condense everything into a maximum of 2 pages. But if you still have a lot written and you realize certain 2 jobs out of the 4 are not related to a particular opening, you can ignore them or you can take them out and have job experiences that are directly related to what you are responding to. Somebody may ask, what if they question me of how do they call it, like a gap in your period? You can explain. So that's why usually the CVs that you use to apply a job, when you are eventually engaged, they ask for a more comprehensive CV that they put on file. But because they cannot read your biography, a comprehensive CV at the recruitment and selection process, usually they want a summarized version, what others may be calling as your resume, a more summarized version, which is directly aligned with the job opening. Just as having a cover letter, which is fine-tuned to a particular job opening. So as you reference simplicity, try as much as possible to have work experiences that directly align with the particular job opening. So if you have 4 and you realize out of the 4, 3 is irrelevant to the job opening, you can ignore it and have the 3 important ones on your CV, well explained, well crafted, with details of achievement and all that. And I'm sure that can give you some advantage. Let me add up to say that sometimes you don't get a call for an interview, not necessarily because you are not a good candidate, but you may be one of the good candidates. And so they chose a few of them among the good ones, and you were not fortunate to be chosen. So you don't sweat, you don't get so much worried, even though not getting a job can cause you to worry. But it doesn't mean you are not a good candidate. You just haven't been able to get the opportunity to be shortlisted, maybe because other more experienced people have applied, as Anita has said. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Wyomi. So viewers, at this point, I think our time has been fast spent. I'll take final words from Anita. Anita, do you have any final words for our job seekers today?
I would say that we've said a lot today, and I hope that they have put certain things down that they are going to use to help them enhance their CVs. Me personally, I learned something from Mr. Wyomi, the STAR approach, and that's something that's really gave me some ideas which I would use. So I hope they've also picked up certain things that would help them enhance their CVs for their next job search. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Anita. Mr. Wyomi, any final words for our job seekers?
Right. So I think we've talked a lot. So what I would say is that building your brand is a lifelong process. It starts with self-discovery, to know who you are, what you stand for, what you want to do. And that leads to the second stage in the process, self-development. Commit to self-development. Develop yourself, get the skills, get the degrees, build a character. Yes, character is equally important. Then, as you have built competencies and you are ready for opportunities, you also engage in lifelong marketing of yourself using online methods such as social media, using print methods such as CV, cover letters, and using in-person such as networking. So there are so many tools we use in communicating to build our personal brand. CV is one of them which we have discussed. using in-person networking, using online presence, social media, LinkedIn are all tools. But it starts with self-discovery. Know yourself, know what you stand for, develop yourself, get all the skills you need for what you want to do, and now tell the whole world, consistently tell the whole world what you are good at, what you can do for them. In the process, you attract opportunities to now be engaged to perform, either as a freelancer, as a full-time employee, as a consultant, or whichever kind of work you find yourself. So I believe what we've discussed so far will contribute to your personal development and career advancement. And on my own behalf, I want to thank Jobberman for engaging me for this session. And I look forward to more other opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wyomi and Anita. Thank you. We appreciate you sharing your thoughts on this topic today. And I believe job seekers have learned a lot from you today, and we are really grateful. Thank you again for joining us. All right, so unfortunately, we have to end our webinar at this point. We have a lot of questions that we couldn't tackle in the comment section, but make sure to stay glued to our social media channels. We would make sure to respond to them and then post them on our social media platform. Now, please also remember to sign up on jobberman.com.gh to complete your profile to 100% to increase your chances of landing your dream job today. We have additional services for job seekers such as CV writing and then CV review. At this point, we want to thank you again for joining us, and then we'll see you at our next webinar. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Dear job seeker, a happy new year to you. We are surely aware of one of your resolutions for the year. Oh yes, we do. And that's finding your next dream job. It's time to get ahead of the curve with Jobberman Ghana. Did you know that on average, 109 people get connected to their dream jobs every week on Jobberman? This could be you. Here's how to get ahead of the curve this year. 1. Sign up on Jobberman for free. 2. Create and complete your profile up to 100% to be noticed by top employers that hire with us. 3. Set up precise job alerts that match your exact job needs. Job function, preferred industry, location, and experience level. 4. Upload your CV and get a free CV review and affordable CV rewrite services that showcase your skill and experience better and stand out from the crowd of applicants. Your success story starts with a standout CV. Get ahead of the curve. Visit our website and get started today.